Welcome to the AnyVerse podcast, a podcast where the members of the AnyVerse Minecraft series get together and talk about their week in their personal AnyVerse world.
Hi, I'm DarkSolidX, also known as Solid.
Hi, I'm Fizzbolt, also known as Fizzy.
Hi, I'm PB from PbPlaysMinecraft.
And hello, I'm Torfi from Torfi74.
All right, everyone, and it's been quite a week, I think, for a lot of us this February. So what have you guys been up to in the AnyVerse?
Well, since I built Villager Breeder last week, I decided that I needed stuff to trade with the villagers. Building all of the farms would be too much work for just me, and since I'm on a single player world, I can't ask for help from other players. So I used this neat little trick called Shadow Clone Jitsu, where I summoned two of my clones to help me, which is really cool, but the only problem is they have the same personality as me and the same habit, and mainly my bad habits. Like one of my clone, he's lazy. He's like very, very lazy. Because he had the easiest farm out of the three. And when I finished the wheat farm, he finished the sugarcane farm. The only problem is, it was only one sugarcane. And that is such a horrible job for my clone. And then the other guy, well, he tends to forget stuff. So when he built the farm, he was finished too. And he finished it an hour before me. But he forgot to make the storage. So I had to remind him. And that was my week, working with my annoying clones.
That sounds like an absolute blast. You've been alluding to what you've been doing this week for the past couple of days, and I've been really excited to hear what it is. And now I'm even more excited to watch it, because that sounds like an absolute blast. For me this week, I have been kind of taking it easy after that huge marathon I spent trying to make, or I guess not trying to, making the Wither platform killer fortress playhouse fun time thing that ended up with me having 3 beacons, though in theory I think I need 5 beacons in another fortress for me to be like truly happy with what there is there. But for now, I decided to take a break on it and live over in the overworld instead of the nether, in which it's very dark down there and I kind of miss the sun. So I spent a lot of time just looking around the top of my area and seeing like, I kind of want to move things here. I kind of want to have my storage system here, or maybe not there, but over here. And a lot of contemplation about whether I'm going to have some things above ground in a building or below ground in an underground sector, I guess. And I also worked on this really cool staircase that's completely diagonal. And normally I wouldn't go for this type of look because, it's very jagged looking. I still haven't looked up what that pattern is, but those like parallel zigzags just going across like as a pattern. I have that sort of pattern going on with the stairs and the railings on the sides of them because I use glass pane. So that's a ton of a really like freaky looking, cool, futuristic-y look. And that's very much sort of the aesthetic I'm going for. So I was really happy to have stumbled upon that. And then I started finally working on the pond. I chose a spot that I've kind of been looking at for the past couple of weeks, I think. Even prior to picking the pond, I had already imagined sort of an outdoor little thing going there. And ever since choosing the pond, I've wanted to make it a little bit bigger. And so I chose this spot under sort of the small but tall, it's like a skinny but tall mound or mountain, I guess if you want to call it that. And there's a section where it just curls under itself and it leaves a little bit of an overhang. And so I cut out a lot of that and I started making the pond under that. And funnily enough, I popped up on the other side of the mountain because it was way skinnier than I thought. And so now I'm left with these new ideas of where I want this water from this pond to come from. And also, it sounds like I might have to go off to a coral reef to go get some sea pickles and maybe some other stuff to kind of spruce up the bottom part of it, because I want it to look a little bit like those underground caves in like Mexico. You know how they're very just like it has like this very much this aesthetic of creepy and old but really cool, and that's sort of what I want to go with when you look down into the pool or the pond, I guess. But aside from that, that's really where I stopped at, just shaping it and filling it up with water.
This week, I also started on my pond after my untimely demise due to the stupid silverfish last week, I decided that I needed to start making my graveyard already. So as I was running around looking for the materials to start this project, I was looking for a warm ocean and I couldn't find one. I died a second time. This time it was to a was it trident bearer? Yeah, those things hit hard and they hit fast and they hit from a long distance too for some reason. I don't know why. Um, so now I have two plots I have to make in my graveyard. I'm not happy about that. But so the project for this week was the pond, and what I did was incorporated it into my graveyard as part of like a feature. So we'll see how people react to that. I'm kind of happy about it, but I did find the warm ocean though. Finally, it was a long ways away, like 500 blocks to the east of where I was looking. So, and also, what else did? Oh, I went to the Nether to get quartz because who doesn't like building with quartz? And I was stumbling around in another fortress, which I found pretty much right underneath where my portal is, and was running through there looking for another wart, and there was none in that fortress at all, and that's irritating me. I just wanted to start making some potions. But I think maybe next week's episode I will probably be running back to spawn because I know there is a fortress over there, and I'm pretty sure there's another ward in there. So that'll probably be something I talk about later.
This week for me, I did a lot of work on the torus around my spawn base, and I've had to get a lot of glass. I still even need more glass. I've only done maybe 4 layers of that torus, and I think there's 10 layers total. So I need to get better tools to dig up this glass because I'm still using stone, which is just crazy. I need to actually just use my iron. And I've been kind of saving it because I don't want to make an iron farm. So I'm saving every bit of iron I can have. My armor's been pretty good because I enchanted it. But a good thing I found that will help me out with all this is one of my librarians has a mending book. So I've been having them just like breed like crazy, just been letting them do their thing. And I checked on them recently and I have that mending librarian. It's a kind of decent trade for the mending book. I think it's like 28 emeralds. I'm not too sure, but it seems pretty neat. So I might go and try and find some diamonds to get some better diamond gear and then I could get mending on everything and just be all the mending I could possibly need. But that means like if I get mending, I'm gonna have to have a spot to actually repair the stuff. So I might be going with the mob farm or try and find one of those spawners that found at the very beginning that I haven't gone back to. So that's going to be a fun thing to do. And another thing I want to do is I found in the desert where I was getting my sand, there's like this bit of a sand structure that kind of looks like a sphinx, but it doesn't have its base. So I kind of want to make that into a sphinx thing or just be derpy and make it be a cat face on top of a mountain. And then I want to put like a oasis down below that. And when 114 comes out, I think they're adding palm trees. So it'd be neat to put some palm trees in there. Or for now, just like find a jungle and get some jungle wood and use that for palm trees because I think that jungle wood would be pretty nice in a desert. But so far, it's just the grind of getting the Taurus done. It was kind of weird to do 120 diameter, but it's going to look amazing when it's done. So just a lot of digging, a lot of getting sand, smelting sand, and everything. But I'm going to like how it turns out.
I think that's so cool. I think in my first episode when I ran around the place, I saw from an angle, I saw this little just formation off in the desert near the savannah that looked like sort of like an elephant, like a little small little elephant sculpture, and I thought that was the coolest thing. And I completely forgot that it was out there until you said talked about the Sphinx. So now I kind of want to go out there and do that. But I'm sort of in the same boat with glass, though. I haven't really talked about it because I don't really want to work on it right now. I want to make my walkways in the nether pretty much all out of glass. I want one line of solid blocks where I could put rails on. And then on the outside, I want that to be glass, and I want the sort of archway tube thing to be also made out of glass. Sort of like think how they always depict making colonies on Mars or in other places in space where it's just like these long white tubes. That's sort of what I want to do in the nether, except my tubes are going to be orange because that's the color I think looks the best as the tubes. But that's going to take so much glass, and I just am not looking forward to it. And I have good enchants and diamond tools, so I can only imagine what it's like for you. So I'm looking forward to also, man, I'm just like so excited to see this Taurus. It's going to be so cool when we finally do a world tour and I get to see like how, like, because I hear 128 and in my brain place, I understand that that's a very large diameter. I've done large diameter things myself also. So I understand that it's large, but it's something completely different to be in that world and seeing it that large also. So I'm so looking forward to seeing how that build ends up being, like how big and epic that build ends up being.
Hopefully it turns out pretty great. The 120, yeah, it's weird to picture it, but once you guys do a tour of it, it's going to be pretty great. Um, I was thinking with you and having the beacons that you got, you could possibly just go to a desert and just completely annihilate it. Get yourself some, is it haste 2 or such? It'd be pretty quick work.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fastest you can mine it is with an efficiency 4 diamond pick, right? I think that's as fast, that's as close to instant mine as you can possibly get. And I don't know do ghost blocks still exist in Minecraft? Did they finally fix that bug? Because I feel like I've now trained myself to mine sand in other blocks slower instead of the really fun psh, psh, brr, brr, brr speed, because ghost blocks were such an issue back in the day. But if they're not, I mean, I'm ready to be out there. But I want to make a sand outpost and a sand quarry out there. So I want to make it look a little bit fancier. So I've been putting off digging up a bunch of sand. I have a big cache of sand. It's just I don't have a good smelter set up, so I've been putting it off even more than usual.
I think the efficiency is the fastest you're going to get with the sand, but it's still pretty quick. And I think they also did fix that bug with the ghost blocks, because I believe at 113 they got rid of it. But I mean, I'm not certain. I haven't seen one in a long time. That's the only reason I'm saying it.
Well, with the efficiency 4, that's the instant mine for the sand, and I've done that off camera. And I've collected a lot of sand myself. I've never ran into any of those ghost blocks as I was getting the sand. So I got the sand, and I've been collecting sand for my base because it's going to take a lot of glass. And I'm so excited to hear you guys work on your big bases because I'm just anxious to work on it. But in the meantime, I'm still just trying to grind out all the stuff that I need just so I don't have to worry about it later. But yeah, I'm so excited.
I haven't started on my big base yet. I'm just doing little jobs at the moment. My biggest projects will be coming up quickly, though, so I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to the resource gathering part of it.
Yeah, there's always that massive grind to just try and get everything you need, like wood or blocks or glass or sand. And it takes up a lot of time. I know I spent a, a bit of time just watching, YouTube or Netflix and then digging and going off and getting sand and just taking time doing that. Get something to pass the time. But it's going to be awesome to see everyone's bases once they start building bigger things. And I'm looking forward to that first world tour.
And this season, I'm actually trying. Well, this first season of this, but still, my first time. I'm actually trying to be more aesthetically pleasing with my builds to make them look more attractive instead of just blocking, like huge stone block buildings like I'm used to doing. So I'm trying to do a little bit more detail in all my builds. So, and my next video is going to contain like my very first creative trees where I make my own trees. So I'm going to see how that turns out. If people like that or not.
I'm sad, but I don't have my personal designer with me because normally I let her do all of the pretty builds, and she usually does like an amazing job. And she lets me do all the redstone, the mechanics and stuff. And yeah, I'm really sad. So I might have to figure out a way to either get her to help me or try to remember her style of prettifying everything.
That's definitely an issue I feel like I have in the game, in which I usually just build things for functionality or build things as a facade. I don't really ever go into anything with the intention of making it both look good on the outside and inside, with functionality being a focus, but also everything else being nice to look at. And usually it's because I don't get that far in builds. There's either a new Minecraft update, I get bored with the world, a server update, or whatever it may be. I never really get into the interior design or really the exterior design, if I'm being honest. Anyone who's been on the server with me knows that I'm very, very much not about making roofs on things because it means that I finished it. And for the most part, I don't like being finished with builds that way because I don't want to call it done. Even though putting a roof on something doesn't mean it's done, in my brain, it means it's done. So there's a lot of open-ended buildings out there in the world of Minecraft, because I just don't put roofs on anything. But I would love to have like just a personal designer come in and just be like, hey, these are things you could do. Or this is what I would do, especially just because I have such a weird building aesthetic that I find it difficult. But since I've started building my home, I've started to be like, oh, there's an entire section, I think, a video that I cut from the actual end product where I'm just like, oh, I think this would be a good area for like a bunch of bookcases, sort of like a reception area up here, just like a waiting room where people could just chill up here, and then down here we could have this and this and this. And I was just like, man, who is this person? I've never thought about these things before.
Having a personal designer would be pretty nice, even just to pick out color palettes, because it would help you branch out from the same old blocks that you use every time. Like, I'm constantly using andesite and spruce and dark oak because those are my favorite things, but I need like someone to challenge me to do something with birch or with jungle wood or granite. I mean, I'm probably never going to build with granite, but if you having that personal designer person to help you would help a lot. It'd be like, "Hey, try it with this." And I totally get the not wanting to put a roof on something because you do a bunch of work on a project and you're like, "I don't wanna finish it," because then you're like, "I have to go on to the next one, and I wanna make sure this is looks just the way I pictured it." And yeah, putting that roof on or putting the last little touches on it, depending on even what it is, if it's not a roof or if it's just like the door, it's like, "Oh, that's finalized. Okay, I can't go back to it ever again." So it makes you wanna it helps with the creative stuff, but it makes you wanna just be like, "I can't finalize this because then it's like, it's done. What do I do now?"
Well, I do like to finalize it, like put the roof on, the door on, make everything all nice and neat so that once you're done, you could always go back and modify it, add to it, and add like another room, add like another floor, add like a deeper basement and extend it out. And that's why I like doing this. I like to finish like the house, and then I like to add more to the house and keep on adding to make a really, really big house.
To be honest, I always finish my buildings externally, wise, but I always leave the inside empty and bare because I don't know what to do with it most of the time, but also just because I don't know how to do any of those. That's why the last time I was on a server, I actually asked somebody to come over and help me design the interior for it, and she did a great job. So now I'm trying to learn from what I've seen from her and from other builders. Like, used to go back and watch some old Corrales builds and some of his inspirational series. There's some really neat ideas out there.
Yeah, and that's kind of the cool thing about, I mean, just everything in life in general, but in Minecraft is that you kind of just have to go at it and do it, right? And then from there, you start getting ideas of what you like to see as opposed to what other people do and what they build. And that's sort of what makes us all unique, right? Because we're all going to build a house and or at least something to keep the rain out. We're all going to create something to keep our precious things safe. You know, we're all going to have a place where we have these set places like our ponds and our museums or whatever we're going to build in the future. But we're all going to build it in a slightly different way because we all think certain things look cooler or we kind of want to see this instead of that. And that's the fun thing about going around. Like Fizz saw a sphinx on a mountain, right? And I saw this elephant with this weird amalgamation of blocks when I was heading towards a village. And it's going to be cool to go into the world and see all these things be so drastically different and how we all envision things differently, both on the outside and the inside. So that's kind of a very cool thing that we're all going to get to build, and we're all going to even see each other like from build to build if we remember them, how we built them chronologically, how we've improved on both the style, our styles, and the style in the world. I'm really excited to see those kinds of changes.
Well, you guys seen a sphinx and a elephant, but for me, I saw a lion and Spawn. And I forgot to mention this, but I believe I mentioned it in one of my episodes that I might have to go in and create the statue, because every time I look at it now, I only see the lion. And I was like, okay, I'm really going to do this. I'm really going to make the lion.
You should make it. It'll probably look amazing. I kind of want to see this. Also, I'm remember now. I was like thinking back to what you were saying it before about your clones. How is this technology possible? Because I could really use some Fizz clones to help me dig and smelt sand and all that stuff.
No, you don't want your clones. They are annoying. They have like your bad habits, like the really, really bad habits, and they drive me crazy. I don't know, but they end up arguing with me too, which is horrible. They helped out a lot, but they are annoying.
I think that's going to be such a fun thing to watch. And that's such a great idea. Did you have some sort of inspiration or did this just pop into your head?
Well, it popped in my head, and at first I was like, no, it might be hard. And then I told myself, you know what? Just go for it. See if you can do it. And I tried it, and then it worked. And I was like, okay, I'm going to run with it. And then I found out how annoying they are.
That's the best. I love hearing that. Have any of you other two made some creative choices in your past few episodes or are planning to make some creative choices? Barring the future goal that we haven't talked about, so...
I've actually only thought about something for our future goal, so I can't say much, but I have an idea and hopefully I can pull it off then what I'm thinking of doing, that is.
The only thing I thought of doing was something like bringing in my camera account and just having watch while I do a time lapse type of thing. Nothing major. I'm not real technical as far as production value of my videos. I never have, just mainly because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I just wing it as much as I can.
I try to be creative with my videos and see what little nits and tweaks that I could do to it to try to make it interesting or like unique from the one before. So the clone is like I said, the clone is the first time I've done something like this. Hopefully, there'll be new stuff that will pop in my head for me to try.
I mean, in that first, I kind of want to do more of it. I just haven't really had a project that I felt I don't want to say deserved, but a project that I've cinematically wanted to do stuff with. What I'm really interested in is doing more things with like music set to the video.
Not in this episode, this series, but in a different series I did where the server was resetting and friend recorded a song, and it was well, not a song but just him singing because he's a actual musician. So he sung "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday" by Boys to Men, and as he's singing this like really slowly, I have my character run, and it's in F3, no F5, where you can see everything in behind me as I'm running through like all of the towns it transitioned, the background transitioned to like all of the many places that you can see, but you can see my character just like running through, and it's kind of like a memory lane, a final memory lane for him to remember, as the servers closing. So that's one of the tricks that I learned a few years ago, so which is really cool. I like it.
So, how are your like house builds going? I've heard, your Taurus, their Fizz, but Solid and Torfi, I haven't really heard much about your houses. How are those going? If you've even started them yet?
I already have mine built. I built mine like early on, like a couple episodes ago. It's nothing major, just something small to keep my stuff in for the moment. I'm actually starting to outgrow my storage, so I'm gonna have to go build a storage room somewhere. But I mean, I need it anyways because of all the materials I have to gather. So, but yeah, I have a little I want to say like Oriental style home that I built, kind of like a fantasy style, Oriental style. So I like it. It turned out really nice.
I'm taking vacancy in the library house in the village for the moment, but then later on I'll start building little bit of houses at the town. But those aren't going to be my houses. Those are going to be the houses for the village. My main place is going to be the big base, which is going to take me some time to start on. So no little houses for me, just the villager.
All the houses that I have in spawn right now, that the village houses, I'm actually going to tear them all down. I probably should make houses for the villagers when I move them. I don't want to make them look like villager houses. I'm going to give them like modern houses maybe, or rundown houses. I need to figure out something neat, a little suburb just for them. Maybe. I need to figure that out. It seems like an interesting idea to give them some sort of style of house.
I can just picture the streets of New York there with your little villagers going, as they walk down it.
I really need to get in on this villager thing. Like, I have them, but I haven't blocked them. They're just still living their best lives out there, just farming away. I don't think I'm terribly interested in getting mending as of now. Like, I'm kind of enjoying wasting away all my diamonds on things. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to working with villagers. I just need to find a place, I guess, now. Oh my gosh, maybe this will be the return. The first village I ever made was when villager trading first came out. But it was also at the same time the Dark Oak Forest, and I really wanted to go out and live in the Dark Oak Forest. So maybe this is going to be the return of the Dark Oak Forest village houses. And now that you can pick up mushroom blocks, oh my gosh, guys, I think we just had a revelation in this Chili's tonight.
Has your mind been blown?
To smithereens.
With no sleep for PB tonight.
What can I say? It's the story of my life.
I kind of wish I had the problem that you have with diamonds. It seems like you have too many, and I think I only have like 3 or 4, because I know I made an enchanting table, but I haven't done anything else with the other diamonds. But you seem like you've got enough to spare. Maybe it's too bad you can't share them with me.
I think I still have only found maybe 7 diamonds total. No, that's a lie. I've got 2 from my enchantment table and 2 picks, plus I have 2 left over. So not a whole lot, but but most of those I found in sunken ships.
I did some massive mining, so I have plenty of diamonds, maybe over a stack of diamonds, and I used up my whole stack of iron blocks, so I had to actually go get more iron. So I mean, if you go mining for a while, you'll be able to find the resources. Speaking of, I died 2 more times. Yay! It is horrible because at my portal there was a pigman that popped out, and I haven't gated out, so he's trapped in there, and I could see his feet. I figure I could just kill him by hitting him in his feet. So I hit him in his feet, and he went back into the portal. So now he's in the portal, and pigmen in the nether would be angry. And so I decided to leave him alone, and then realized that I needed nether quartz. So I went back in, and as soon as I went in, he two-shotted me because I wasn't wearing my armor for the recording, so you could tell the difference between me and my 2 clones. So I decided to put my no. And then I went in again to get my stuff, but then when I died a second time, I realized that I didn't have my armor on. So I put my armor on, and I went in there, and I killed them, and then I left. And I never went back. So I died 2 more times.
You're making it really hard to catch up with you with death there, Solid.
Nope, I think that's good. Just keep going. I'll just stay where I'm at, and I'll die to my silverfish as usual. But at least I won't catch up too fast.
I'm okay with you all taking all the deaths. I've only died 3 times, so I'm in no rush to catch up.
There will be a point where I do not die anymore. But for now, yeah, I'll rack up the dust.
All right, and on that cheery note, I think it's about time to end the podcast. So, Solid, if you want to start taking us away.
I'm DarkSolidX, also known as Solid. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter as DarkSolidX.
I'm Fizzbolt, also known as Fizzy. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch under Fizzbolts with an S and YouTube under Fizzbolt.
Hi, I'm PB from PbPlaysMinecraft. You can find me on YouTube at that name or over on Twitter on PbPlaysMinecraft without the T because Twitter wouldn't let me add it. Also, you can find me occasionally over on twitch.tv/PbPlaysInside for some variety gaming.
And hello, I'm Torfi, and you can find me on YouTube at Torfi74. And if I do tweet, it'll be at FallenGeek74 on Twitter.
Thank you for listening in on today's episode of the AnyVerse podcast. Don't forget to use hashtag AnyVerseMC in your tweets about the series, and don't forget to follow all these wonderful humans, and we will be back next Wednesday for another recap of our week in the AnyVerse.